Oh, I have so much to tell you. So much, in fact. I'm going to divide this up to like maybe 2, 3 parts. But basically, well, you know how you guys know how I like to get into it. Let's get straight to the point. Where have I been? Why am I locking my hair? Why do I keep moving? You guys, I've moved between 4 different apartments between June 7th and August 20th. And quite frankly, I'm exhausted. And even before then, it's just been a bumpy ride. So we'll start with what we'll call Olley. That was my first apartment I was living in when I was being consistent, when my YouTube really started to pick up. So at Olley, I will say it was a great place. It definitely served its purpose for its time being. But, I outgrew that space pretty fast. And like I kept manifesting, I kept saying how I wanted more space. I needed more space. I needed a bigger couch. I needed, my own setup, my own room for YouTube and tarot. And, I just needed to compartmentalize my life in different places and not have everything all confined into one space. Because to be honest with you guys, taking down lights, putting up lights, putting out the cards, putting them up, because you guys have OCD, like everything has a place. And I had to have a place for tarot, YouTube, my social life, my personal life, all within a 1 bedroom apartment. So yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, how it ended wasn't so great, but it was better for me. And there's always a higher plan. You guys, we just gotta always listen, because when I tell you, the saying, what does not kill you makes you stronger, is so real. Like, okay. So while I'm living at Olley, basically, I'm living there by myself. And I had cameras. I had one that faced towards my door, and I had one at my peephole because I just didn't want to take any chances, right? Not saying I live in a bad neighborhood. It's just you never know. People go to good neighborhoods all the time. You just never know. So either way, I had this neighbor that moved in above me, and it was a middle-aged man. The reason why I know this is because a friend of mine worked there in the maintenance staff, and he told me, like, it was an older male or whatever. So either way, he had complained about me playing music. The courtesy officer came to my door. Once I was made aware, I would turn my music down. You guys, I felt like from like the first complaint, it was just like downhill. Like I was constantly walking on eggshells. And you guys, between 14, no, let's not even do that. Between $1,500 and $1,600 for this 1 bedroom, okay? And I'm being harassed. Like I can't listen to my music. I can't watch my movies. I can't do anything, right? So, life was good. It was cool because of the convenience of how close I was to everything. But what wasn't cool is, just constantly wondering, am I being too loud, even though I'm not being that loud? And also, like, the neighborhood I lived in was a young neighborhood. So it was like, mid-20s up to like, mid-30s. People were pretty young. They like to go to the bars. They like to have fun, go hang out with their dogs outside in the courtyard. So it was a pretty lively neighborhood. So the fact that he's complaining about me playing music, which I wasn't disrespectful about. Sorry, I'm gonna turn that on silent. But yeah, so it just really blew my mind because I tried to accommodate this man so many times. It got to the point where like I'm getting phone calls at midnight from property management, and I'm just like, you guys, like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, you're calling me after like freaking 10 p.m. to tell me how I'm being too loud. I'm like, well, do you hear anything? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, then. So why are you bothering me? At this point, this is becoming harassment. So, I didn't want it to be an issue. So which is kind of sad because as the leasing agents, you would think that they would have better problem solving skills, but that's neither here nor there. Not taking any jabs or throwing no shade. It was just, do your job. But either way, so I told the leasing officer, I was like, hey, just shoot the guy my number so he can text me whenever he thinks I'm being too loud, and I'll try and accommodate him as best as possible. Now, there were like a couple of occasions where he had texted me and I was like, okay, I'll turn the music down or I'll turn the TV down, whatever the case may be. And it was fine until the last time it happened. Now, again, you guys, mind you, I have cameras, okay, where you have audio and visual proof of what goes on in my apartment. And I just so happened to, I remember this like detailed. So I had a friend come over. I was talking with a friend. It was dead silent in my apartment. But prior to her coming over, I was on FaceTime with my sister after just taking a nap. So taking a nap on FaceTime with my sister and talking to a friend. Not once have I mentioned I'm playing music, okay? And I'm not talking that loud. So the neighbor had texted me, let's say the time is 8:11. He had texted me at 8:11 and asked if I could turn music down because he can hear like subwoofers or something like that. And I told him, hey, I don't have any music playing. I'm sorry, I don't know how I could really help you, which was factual. And so next thing you know, I come home and I have a notice on my door stating that I have 60 days, 24 hours from the date of this notice to vacate the property. They're terminating my lease. So I'm like, okay. At first I was pissed because I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. So at first it was principle for me. But then I had to keep in mind as I was, being mad and, going back and forth with the leasing office. And then it just hit me. I was like, but you said you wanted more space. Right? Okay. So I stopped fighting with the leasing office. I said, you know what, you guys can have it, I'll leave. But the funny part is at say 7:21 and then 7:24 p.m., there's movement in my living room. So the camera picks up motion and there's literally video, audio recording of me on FaceTime with my sister prior to him even texting me, asking me to turn my music down. So it proved that there was no music playing before, there was no music playing at the time, and there was no music playing afterwards. But I didn't fight it because, I knew I would win. I knew I could have gotten another apartment there. They would have accommodated me because they would have clearly seen that Buddy upstairs was harassing me. So I just said, bump it. I'm going to leave. So I get movers. That cost me about like maybe $500. And, I just say I'm going to cut my losses here. I moved over to what we're going to call Barry, which was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. And it was in a neighborhood that I had lived in before when I had my very first apartment. So I was thinking, because when I first lived in that area, this apartment complex was under construction. And I was like, okay, well, I don't mind, staying in a, I guess older building, kind of like settling for the apartment, but it was going to be more space. So I was like, this is temporary. I'll take more space so I can accomplish what I need done and save money. You guys, I moved into this unit and they didn't even properly clean. And the only reason why I moved in was because I already had movers like reserved on the way coming to get my stuff. And it's like, there's no going back now. I kind of got to move. So I'm thinking, okay, it's not the cleanest. I can clean it. I'm OCD. That's not a problem. So I moved my stuff in. I'm thinking, okay, great. Wrong. This was the first indication for me that something was wrong was I had purchased a money tree. Okay, her name is Elizabeth. And when I got her, she was so full, like just luscious, so many leaves, so much. She was a beautiful tree. Still is a beautiful tree, by the way. But the problem was, and at the time, money was great, business was good, everything was fine. And then I started to notice a lot of my leaves just kept falling off. And I'm just like, but wait, you're my money tree. You're not supposed to, you know, die on me or lose, your leaves. She kept losing her leaves, kept losing her leaves. And then one day I just realized, 'cause I never felt comfortable with fully unpacking. And for me, I like to fully unpack, get my bathroom together, get my kitchen together. My bathroom and my kitchen are my number one places. I never felt fully comfortable with unpacking my bathroom. So my apartment was never fully unpacked, which was very weird for me. But that was like my first indication. Well, no, that was my second indication because I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I went out of town. That's when you guys see me go to Tennessee to get some crystals and to see a friend I haven't seen in a while. So it was kind of like let me get out of here for a second. I come back home. I notice that, there's like gray stuff growing on my stuff. And I'm just like, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. This is not what I think it is. I started freaking out. I'm like, this is not mold. I did not move into a mold infested apartment. Okay, you guys? Called the leasing office. This is right before they were about to close. And the leasing agent literally tells me, well, we'll send out somebody. I got back in town on a Friday. They told me that they were going to wait and send someone out on Monday. And I'm just like, I'm telling you that this could be mold. Mold is dangerous for your health. You shouldn't wait until Monday to come and see. You know what I mean? Like, this is not acceptable. So Saturday comes. Like, at this point, I feel uncomfortable going back to the apartment. Like, I just didn't want to be there. I felt dirty. I felt like, just ill. Okay, I'm a huge germaphobe too. And so, yeah, they sent somebody, I guess, the emergency maintenance person on call for the weekend. Thank God I had my cameras up because he had came and entered my apartment and I wasn't even there. And, I saw him. He just walked into my apartment and then walked right back out. He really didn't do much of anything. So now I'm going back and forth with the leasing office, like this is mold, then, I don't want to live here. I'm not staying here. Like, nah, y'all can miss me with that. And she was like, oh, well, it's organic mold. The leasing agent literally told me it's organic mold. Honey, newsflash, all mold is organic mold. Like she was trying to basically tell me like, oh, it's no big deal. You just gotta keep your AC low. And I'm like, are you gonna pay my electric bill? Like, I gotta keep it like a freezer in here to try and prevent mold from growing. Like, ew. I just never lived in a mold infested apartment. And I'm not saying like, ooh, I'm a snob, I'm better than, but just like for the quality of my life, like I don't want to live somewhere where there's mold. I feel uncomfortable. So it's this whole going back and forth. Like they sent someone out. They did come on Monday. And this guy tried to tell me, or the lead maintenance guy, the head, whoever, the supervisor, tells me that this isn't mold. This is soot from your candles. How is it possible that soot from my candles went through the ventilation system, got into my kitchen, the master bathroom, the guest bathroom, and potentially, the living room as well? Like, who knows at this point? Kept trying to convince me that, it's not mold. It's my candles, right? So at this point, I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm tripping because I don't know, right? They said they're going to send somebody out. Someone came to dehumidify my apartment, but they never sent someone to test my mold like they said they were going to. So I'm sitting here patiently waiting like, are you guys going to come do anything about it? No, they don't. So now I've paid for July's rent. Again, I told you guys I got my money tree and leaves just kept falling. And literally every leaf I lost is just as much money I lost. So if we calculate, I had to pay for the prorated rent for Olley. to leave there, movers to move into Barry, rent, deposit to move into Barry. Then I had to pay. Then I paid for July's rent, right? So still no response. They're going back and forth with me. At this point, I'm just like, okay, either y'all are dumb or y'all are stupid, or y'all think I'm dumb or I'm stupid. And they sent in the maintenance guys again, but this time it's a different guy. And he's saying, oh no, it's your incense, it's your candles. I'm like, you guys, I haven't burned my candles since you said that last time. I've barely been here. And as far as incense, looks like they were trying to look around to find stuff that I had to try and blame it on that instead of just saying, it's mold, what would you like to do next going forward? So y'all are going to just take my money. Now, at the same time that I moved into this place, my boyfriend has also moved into his apartment, which was also a horrid event, but we'll get to that later down the line. So, I'm going back and forth to the leasing office, and I'm barely there because, it just had this smell that just kept getting stronger and stronger every day coming from the master bathroom. And I'm huge on smells because, just ew. Why does it smell like this? You know what I mean? If I could describe it, I'd say it just smells like, not like sewer or garbage, but it was just like a poignant, loud smell, like something was just off and it was coming from the pipe in my sink. So I felt uncomfortable brushing my teeth. I felt uncomfortable taking showers. I just felt uncomfortable. So I'm having to spend most of my time now at my boyfriend's house. And he stayed in a 1-bedroom and I have 2-bedroom. Now, mind you, we have 2 dogs at the time. And, we were expecting to live apart for a year. And then we were like, okay, we'll probably just move in together after our leases are up. That's not what happened. So then I talked to him and I said, well, hey, if I can make it possible and we get into a house, what do you think about that? So he said, hey, if you think we can get into a house, I'm going to let you do what you do best. So I am looking my hardest, okay? I am looking my damn hardest to find a house during this time in Atlanta where housing is damn near impossible. They're charging you an arm, leg, and a piece of your foot just for something bare minimum, and they probably haven't updated since the 80s or 90s. So you're just looking like, okay. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I'm looking for a house, and I decided, and then when we started looking for the house, everywhere we looked had already had an application on it and was approved for somebody else. So I was really starting to get discouraged. I felt like I was slipping into a very dark place, but something told me that you have to keep, well, not something, I knew. I would see it and I would get confirmation through numbers, and I would get confirmation from this voice in my head. It was like God walked with me like, hey, you got to keep pushing. You can't give up, because if you give up, then everything that you've worked so hard for will just completely fall to the wayside. So I had to keep pushing through, because once, it was like ever since I moved out of the Olley, I almost said what it is. Once I moved out of the Olley, it felt like creating content was almost impossible. Even though I started creating content at the Berry, and then I tried to do it when I went out of town again. I went to Virginia, and it was just really hard to pack up all of this equipment, picking out which tarot deck I want to use on a consistent basis, and what do I energetically want to work with. And it was just a lot to have to pack all that up and carry that with me everywhere, because I don't like to pack up my most valuables and just carry it everywhere. I'll carry maybe one tarot deck, but I'm having to carry tarot decks, oracle cards, my iPad, my ring light, chargers, oracle decks, crystals. It was just too much. Well, it was already too much going on. And then on top of that, I don't know why, but we thought it was a great idea to get a puppy. So we ended up with 3 babies, trying to potty train, trying to get out of 2 leases, move into a house. You guys, it was so much going on, but I think I'm going to stop it right here, and then we're going to talk more about what happened with Barry, and then what happened with, we'll just call this place what it is, Vita. We'll call this place what it is, but we'll get into that next time, you guys. It's just so much, you guys. I don't even know if I got all the details in there, but I got as much as I could. But I'll see you guys later, and we'll talk more.